The following program is furnished by K1 International LLC and is responsible for its content. Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth. Welcome to your Sunday morning. It's a wild card weekend. Hey, welcome to Inside Real Estate, Sports, Entertainment, Politics. Hope you're enjoying your holidays and finished up with all that stuff and you're ready for the wild card weekend. By the way, website InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Hey, if you're actively looking for real estate, of course, you can download our app on your smarty phone, DFW Metroplex Real Estate in your smartphone. Of course, go to the website. You can connect with all of our partners of the show, of course, myself in real estate. If you want to advertise with us, if you want to be a partner of the show, want to be our experts on the show, you can hook up with me there. And of course, if you need services with any of our partners, you can connect with them at the website. By the way, we are launching a new product this year, and so if you are looking for a job and you don't mind sales and you don't mind talking to people, if you have a pulse and you can go into a business and ask for a business owner and speak to them and have a conversation with them, then guess what? We'd like to talk to you. Sales, isn't it? It is. It's a little bit of sales. You know what? You talk to people, you follow up, you send them some information, you get back to them, and, you know, hey, we're trying to help them. So, hey, if you are looking for a job, go to the website, reach out to me directly. It's a high-paying job, actually. And by the way, you get to work from home.
That's the best part.
Yeah. High paying, you know, working from home. It's a good gig. So give me a buzz. We're looking for you. And by the way, we're looking for folks all over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Hey, speaking of the wild card weekend, by the way, this really got on my nerves, so I have to mention it. Last night, my opinion, the Lions were absolutely somewhat robbed by the officials. Now, of course, they did lose the game, and I think they probably were going to lose the game. But
yes.
So I'm not blaming the whole game on the officials, but there are some calls that were absolutely out of your mind missed. How do you not miss
grabbing
face
someone's face mask, turning their head completely around where they can't see anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was obvious right there. Not to mention there's two officials watching the end zone. Not to mention as well, every scoring play is reviewed. So in the review, you know, something's got to happen there. Then what about at the end of the game where Matt Stafford is body slammed, one guy's got his upper body, another guy picks up his feet, and then they slam him against the ground. No flag.
Oh, I couldn't believe that one, especially after the penalty for getting the other quarterback, Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, hitting the quarterback is just part of the game.
Right. Yeah, it was hard to believe. And there were some other bad calls in there, too. Other bad calls,
absolutely.
Other missed calls. You know, now I think, you know, for the Lions, they've suffered all year long drop passes. You know, they need to put some receivers around Stafford that can catch the ball, you know, especially, you know, because most of the time he's putting it on the money.
Yes, and I was surprised at the very beginning of the game because by halftime I turned that game off. But it was amazing how many balls hit them in the hands or in the chest that they just dropped.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit would, you know, I mean, they've struggled for so many years. We know that. But honestly, the past decade, they've actually been pretty good, you know. Then they've had a lot of close losses. They're in a tough division. They got Minnesota. They got Green Bay in there. They got Chicago in there. And even when Chicago's playing bad, oftentimes they play decent enough to make it tight. So I think for Detroit, you know, they need some receivers that can catch the ball. Number one, they need to get open, you know, because that would allow Matt Stafford not have to put it in such tight quarters all the time. I mean, he's got to throw it to somebody. I mean, most of their plays are pass plays. You know, your receivers can't get open. That's a problem.
Well, the only reason I cared is because I wanted Dallas to play Detroit so that we could beat them. I think out of the four teams,
yeah,
that they were going to be the easiest to beat.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was just frustrating for me to watch last night because I was really hoping for those guys. Speaking of Matt Stafford, by the way, who was the Highland Park state champion back in 2005, guess what? We have his head coach from Highland Park as part of our special sports segment later in the show. And by the way, they just won the state championship over there at Jerry's World a little while ago. So Coach Randy Allen, with over 350 wins, by the way, he's going to be here on the show a little bit later. So stay tuned.
Fantastic.
Stay tuned for that. Hey, what else is going on here? Hey, I wanted to mention this because this really caught my attention the other day. Lisa sometimes brings these things to my attention, and I don't know if you guys out there, and this is apt on a Sunday morning because Ron Carpenter, have you ever heard of Ron Carpenter, Richard?
No.
Ron Carpenter is a pastor, and I believe he's out of Carolina. And he, I'm guessing it's just roncarpenter.com, and he has a lot of videos online and whatnot.
Yeah, it's everything I could do to listen to my pastor. So,
well, here's the thing, and I know, and I get, sometimes bored and frustrated with some of those things too. But, this guy, I've never been one to just necessarily sit down and listen to a lot of sermons, but, this guy is history-based. He's a history buff, and he really comes out and just talks common sense. It's not just, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and, blah, blah, blah. It's just real. He really struck me. He was really good, actually. He was just really good. And he brought up this point, which I thought was amazing because he said, he was talking about the destruction of the family unit. And, we're not going to get into that all day, but he was talking about the destruction of the family unit, and he said, here's when this started in America. And he said, World War II. And he's like, here's why. And so the short version real quick is, he said, we ship off every able-bodied man, to go fight in the Pacific and in Europe. Many die, of course. The ones that come back, things had changed here at home when they got back because, to support the war effort, nearly all the women went to work in the factories, right? Rosie Riveters, right? Everybody's, changing and working at home. Whereas prior to that, there was defined, according to Ron Carpenter, there was defined purpose for the man and the woman prior to that. And then after World War II, it just changed. And then so the man came back. Oftentimes his job was gone. His job wasn't there from what it was before. Now there's total different dynamic. And so he really went into explaining all of this and how this was the start of kind of the destruction of the family unit. And I just thought it was fascinating. So if that's something that, interests you and fascinates you, like it kind of did me because it was historically based, and I like facts, and I like history and basing an opinion and a theory on some facts and some solid information. And so if that interests you, like it did me, hey, check out Ron Carpenter and check out that information. And like I said, I miss some Sunday mornings,
right.
And I do, because I usually work Sundays, obviously with this, and even before this, I worked weekends anyway. But this was great. This was great stuff, I have to tell you. It really was.
Fantastic.
And Richard's just looking at me like,
yes, I am.
I watched him before. He's good.
Have you?
Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, there you go. Hey, folks, when you get into your Richard's just laughing at me. Folks, when you get into your later years, by the way, statistics are, guess what? You're going to have a fall in the bathroom. When you get to that age, you got so many plans for the golden years.
That's supposed to be your fun time.
It's supposed to be your fun time. You've saved up all your money, all your life for these golden years. The kids are gone, empty nest, time to golf, time to travel, time to do all the things you ever wanted to do. It's why you saved your pennies, put them away in stocks, bonds, etc. Lost them all, then made a little back, and
Hopefully.
maybe you have a part-time job as a greeter now. Right. Welcome to today's USA. No, sorry, just kidding. The point is, you don't want to ruin it by a fall in the bathroom. So, our great partners over at Hydrojet Walk-In Tub have the best product in the industry, lowest step in the industry, made in the USA, certified made in the USA, thousands and thousands of dollars cheaper than the competitors, but it's still the Cadillac product. Sometimes folks get it confused. They think they need to pay more to get more, and in this case, you don't. It is the Cadillac product of the industry, but you don't have to pay the Cadillac price. They stand behind their service, and the nice thing about this product is that once you kind of get to that point, or if you already maybe disabled, have some disabilities, this allows you to care for yourself. And, but by and large, hey, get it before something happens.
And you don't have to be old, because like Carol and I, my wife and I were talking, I kind of wouldn't mind one.
Right, me too.
It looked like a hot tub.
Yeah.
A personal hot tub right there, and you don't have to step in. I mean, it's an easy step in. Yes, we were kind of talking about that over the break. Just like,
yeah, I mean, it's a hot tub in your, in your bathroom. So, hey, that's good enough for me. But take that out of it, and if you're getting on older, take out the risk, because what happens is, look, the statistics are, it's almost near 100% you're going to have a fall. Of the 100% that have a fall, once you get to your golden years, you just don't get your mobility back like you had it. Sometimes you get, very minimal mobility, and then all of a sudden you're bedridden. Don't let that happen to you. Hydrojet Walk-In Tubs, talk to my friend Randy over there at Hydrojet Walk-In Tubs. The website's hydrojetwalkintubs.com, by the way. So get with him. And, folks, we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to come on back. See you in a few. With over 3.5 million square feet and 5 DFW locations, Ideal Floors has you covered for all your flooring needs. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, laminate, wood, or vinyl plank, Ideal Floors has you covered. And with their price match guarantee and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, they are the absolute best in DFW for all your flooring needs. Call Kevin Hamus, the owner of Ideal Floors, at 214-789-0422 or go to idealfloors.com for all your flooring needs.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to PermaPure Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of PermaPure Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling PermaPure at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapure.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Hey, if you want to give us a shout, 888-787-KLIF. 888-787-KLIF. Hey, time to do a little bit of mortgage talk. We're going to talk with Terri over at Supreme Lending Rockwall. Her website, TerriWaggoner.com, TerriWaggoner.com. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have we had enough of that yet?
Not yet.
I have.
When do we have to stop saying it?
I don't know. I'm ready.
I think as long as the first month, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably good.
Because you're going to see most everybody in the first month.
Right. Well, yeah.
And if you don't, well, then...
You didn't need to see them anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
they don't get a Happy New Year.
That's right.
What's going on in the mortgage world these days?
Oh, gosh, a lot. But I thought I'd talk this morning about just credit scores, credit scoring formulas, so we can kind of start out at the basics.
Okay.
First of the year, let's kind of start over. And we'll just take it right down to the bottom. Okay, everybody knows or should know your credit report. There are 3 credit reporting agencies. You've got Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Each of them have scoring models, their formula that puts together what your credit score is. They probably vary a little bit from bureau to bureau. That's why you've got a different score for the same information on all 3 credit bureaus in some instances.
Right.
So the breakdown as to what goes into your credit score is your payment history takes up about 35% of what your actual credit score is. Then your amount owed is going to take up about 30% of your credit score. So I thought we'd go over those two. Then there are some other components. You've got your length of credit history is going to be about 15%, new credit about 10%, and types of credit used is about 10%. So let's talk about credit history first, because it's the biggest component of what is going to go into your score.
Okay.
So just because you might have a few late payments on your credit score doesn't mean that's a score killer. You're not dead in the woods. You can't buy a house. You can't buy a car. You can't do anything. But you certainly want to watch that. You don't want to be late on your payments.
Right.
But then on the other side of that coin, just because you pay all of your credit cards perfectly, all of your accounts perfectly, doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect score. So.
And what's considered late?
Good point, Richard. Late is, and it may differ from different creditors because their due dates and when they report to the credit bureau. But typically, anytime you're 30 days past due on a payment, that's when it's going to show up on your credit report as delinquent.
Okay, so if I'm paying everything 2 weeks late, is that considered late, or is that considered like a slow pay?
It is considered late at that particular lender.
Okay.
With that creditor, your payment is late. Because
Okay.
if it's due on the 1st, they want to see your payment on the 1st or before. And by the way, it's okay to pay early. But yes, it is late. It's not going to show up on your credit report, however.
Okay.
But that particular creditor is not going to be happy with you. They're not going to extend you. Let's say it's a credit card and you pay it 2 weeks late every single month. You're never going to get your credit limit raised. As a matter of fact, they may lower your credit limit. Yeah. And that can hurt you pretty bad too.
And they'll take you to the max interest rate.
Right. So you want to watch all of those things. But even though you're making your payments every month on the day that they're due, doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect score. Because if you have, let's just take, for instance, a revolving credit card. You have $1,000 credit balance. You keep that bad boy charged up to $999 every month. And then you pay the minimum payment's $35 a month. You're paying it on time, but you're only paying $35. And then you charge that $35 back up the next month. Okay?
Yeah, buddy.
That's not going to create you a good credit score.
It just freed me up $35.
That's right. I'm going partying.
I don't got money, but I got checks.
You can't do that. Yeah.
I paid $35, but you only gave me $5 worth of additional credit.
That is correct. Yes. So you want to watch all of those things. So you want to make your payment, but you also want to watch the utilization of your available credit. Okay? Because a lot of times when we pull credit and someone's credit scores, they have no late payments. They have no collections. They have no charge-offs. Everything's good. They're paying their accounts on time, but everything's charged to the max. You're not going to have a high credit score.
Right.
Okay? So pay attention to that. The different types of credit accounts, payment history that it's going to take into account. You've got your credit cards. You've got like your store credit cards, your gas cards, things like that. You've got installment loans. Installment loans do not hold as much weight as your revolving credit does. So but let's say you go out and buy a new car. That's an installment loan. Right after you get that loan, your credit score could and probably will drop a few points because now you've got more credit that you're utilizing. But that installment loan, as you pay it down, is not going to improve your credit score as much as a credit card that you're paying down will improve your credit score.
Right.
Okay, so the different types of accounts can make a difference as well.
Yeah, and it's important for people to understand that, look, the credit scoring system, it's not a fair system. It's a system set up there's no, I'd like to say there's a playbook to it, but at the end of the day, there really isn't.
No.
So, you really need to listen to what Terry's talking about, because this is good advice, good, helpful information, because, look, it's just not some system that's set up and there's a rule book and you play by the rule book and it works out. No, not really. It's just it's really random.
It is very random, and it's very frustrating in what I do, because you'll pull credit on two folks and you've got one that there's no reason that his credit score is as high as it is, and then you pull someone else's and there's really no reason why his credit score is as low as it is.
Right.
I mean, he's paid all of his counts, but it takes more than what we're seeing into account when they put together that credit score.
Right.
The length of time that person has had credit will play into it as well. So, and what other, I'd just like for everyone to kind of pay attention to their credit this year. Check it yourself, call me, have me check it, but don't ever pay one of those websites that you hear on TV or anywhere else to give you a credit score. Because Credit Karma and the credit cards that you have that offer you the free credit score, those are good indicators as to what we can find when we actually pull what we call a tri-merge credit report. But it is not, that's not accurate.
Right.
So please don't pay for Credit Karma credit score or any of those. Or one website that I always send folks to once a year is annualcreditreport.com. You should check your own credit every year, once a year, just to see what's on there. One time I had a customer that he had perfect credit, but his credit score wasn't where it needed to be. Believe it or not, he had a $2 collection account on his credit. $2.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of ruined him. Now, we were still able to do the loan, but your credit score dictates what interest rate you get on a mortgage loan.
Yeah.
It dictates what interest rate you get on a car payment, and other things you may be shopping for. So I want everyone to just kind of realize how important your credit report and your credit score are and kind of take care of it. It's important for you to take care of. So pull your credit report yourself every year. Check what's on there. If something's not right, you can dispute it. And we've talked about this before as well, Mike. But disputes sometimes aren't always the best thing for your credit.
Right.
When you dispute an account that's on your credit report, what it does is it takes that account out of the scoring formula. Okay, so that account doesn't count right now. But then they're going to send a notice to that creditor and says, hey, Terry says this isn't hers. What do you say? Verify the information. Well, all they have to do is, yeah, this is hers. Send it back in.
Right.
They don't have to prove that I had that collection account. And then that goes back on in your scoring model. So, but what that does when you purchase a home on some loan types, that disputed account is going to have to be removed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a bad thing to dispute incorrect information, but don't go on there assuming you're going to dispute correct information and it's going to go away.
Right.
Take care of your business. Pay the folks that you owe.
Mm-hmm.
I know that everybody comes into some credit issues sometimes and you know, your money crunch and you can't pay and you just spent a bunch of money on Christmas. But now is a great time for you to pull that annualcreditreport.com to see what's on there and what you can do to fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, you need to, you know, new year, new you, think
Right.
about, you know, you need to know your credit score and also think about, keep in mind that, you know, maybe try not to open so many different lines of credit, because once you start opening credit, I mean, you need a little bit of credit to establish yourself.
Yes, you do.
You know, you have to have it. You just, to be in the game, to, you know, get the interest rates for a home, for a car, et cetera, you need a credit line, you need a baseline. But, you know, if you're still young in life, maybe think about not opening up so many lines of credit, because ultimately, if you start with a lot, you're going to keep going that way. You're going to keep opening new lines of credit, and it's just going to totally put your credit scores out of whack long term.
Right. Everyone probably needs maybe 2 credit cards, but don't assume that you don't need any credit cards, because you do.
Right.
Because that can definitely hurt your scores. I've looked at enough credit reports to know that if all you have is a car payment, your credit score is probably not going to be very high.
Yeah, and don't
even
just,
if you make it on time every month.
Yeah, and don't just open, an account with, the first one that sends you something in the mail.
Right.
So you really need to look at it, pay attention to it, because then here's the thing: once you open an account, then closing it. Just because you close it, I closed that account. Well, closing something
can hurt you.
Can hurt your credit score. So,
right.
So there you go. So, hey, pay attention to Terri. Get with Terri. Her website's terriwaggoner.com, and she will get you taken care of. And, of course, hey, if you're thinking about refinancing, cashing out, purchasing this year, you want to get with Terri at least 6 months in advance to get you taken care of. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come on back with our high school sports segment. Hey, we've got a special guest. We've got head coach Randy Allen, state champion from Highland Park, head coach. He's going to be on the line with us. Come on back. We'll see you in a few. Far from the shores of home, two African-American U.S. Army privates fight for their lives on the battlefronts of World War II. The first Black War correspondents fight to cover the perspective of the black soldier. The novel A Private War weaves all this and more into an epic World War II-era story of friendship, conflict, religion, and redemption. Get a copy of Private War, a novel by Perry Cockrell today, now available on Amazon.com. And tune in regularly to Inside Real Estate Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. to hear Perry Cockrell, attorney at law, as he provides expert analysis of the latest and greatest in legal news. When it comes to your mortgage and refinance needs, trust Terri Waggoner, our resident mortgage expert on Inside Real Estate Radio. With a wide range of financing options and competitive interest rates, you can trust Terri for a fast and reliable loan process with superior service. Go to terriwaggoner.com or 469-644-4818 today. Supreme Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID number 207089, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas, 75032. SML Mortgage Banker Registration, Residential Mortgage Loan Originator.
If you have a timeshare, this time of year you're probably thinking about those maintenance fees coming due. Hi, I'm Karen Holloway, owner of Lone Star Transfer, located right here in the DFW area. Before you pay your maintenance fees, call us for a free consultation, 972-722-3166. We'll get you out of your timeshare and put a stop to those maintenance fees, guaranteed. 972-722-3166 or LoneStarTransfer.com.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. Welcome to Inside Real Estate, Sports, Entertainment, Politics. We've got it all. Hey, time to do a little high school sports segment right here, right now. We've got a great guy on the line with us. We've got Highland Park head coach Randy Allen. State champion, by the way, over 350 wins. Been in the coaching business for decades, and by the way, nominated by the Cowboys for the NFL High School Coach of the Year as well. Coach, are you on the line with us?
Yes, I'm right here.
Thank you for calling in on a Sunday morning. We certainly appreciate it.
Well, I'm actually at an airport going to a coaching convention in Nashville, so it's good to talk to you.
Right on. Hey, are you going to be going to the Pro Bowl for those festivities as well, for the high school coach festivities?
Yes, they're flying us out on the 29th, and we'll stay till Monday, so it'll be a 3-day trip to Orlando, Florida, and it should be a lot of fun.
Good deal. Well, we love talking with coaches that are, coaches work so hard and it's such a thankless job at the high school level. And, people just don't understand that you guys work just nonstop. And you're all about helping the kids. And, it's just a thankless job. And, we always appreciate, people taking time to talk with us, especially when they're so busy as it is.
Well, we worked 16 weeks and 7 days a week to win the state championship, and we do it every year if we had to, but whether we work 10 weeks or 16, our stipends are still the same. So
right.
But we had a great parade yesterday at Highland Park. We had, 1,000 people that lined the streets, and we went to from the high school to Gore Park and had a big celebration, a lot of proclamations by the mayor of both cities. And so it was a good time to celebrate the football season.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a great season. Congratulations on that, by the way. For most of the playoffs, you kind of really handled everybody pretty easily. Looked like the closest game that it got pretty tight was really with Mansfield. Talk about that.
Well, we did have a 14-7 game with Mansfield Legacy, and George Stewart deflected a pass on 4th and goal on about the last play of the game to win it for our team. And but the next week against Denton Ryan, it was 7 points difference, and they were driving down the field. We had another interception by Zach Foltz to win that game. And in the final game against Temple, it was 7-0 Temple, 7-7 at half, and then we went ahead 14-7, and then we got a safety to beat them 16-7. So the last 3 games were pretty close.
Yeah, exactly, and it was blowing out big for the most part, early part, and then it tightened up later in the playoffs, and you guys really had to push on through. So certainly a great year. And I know you've been asked this before, but of course having Jerry Jones' grandson on the team, do you treat him just like another ball player, or is there how do you handle that?
Well, we do, and John Stephen wants to be treated like any other ball player.
Yeah,
and so we try to treat all of our players the same. And I tell everybody, I had 3 quarterbacks that were competing for the position, and I met one time with all the dads, or all 3 dads, and explained to them how we were going to evaluate quarterbacks, and I was going to keep objective stats. And if I couldn't make a decision after spring training, I'd let them compete for a scrimmage, and then I would name a starter right before the first game. And John Stephen won the competition and proved himself by leading us to the state championship.
Yeah, and it looks like he had a pretty darn good season, over 3,000 yards passing and 30 TDs. And what a lot of people may not know about him is he's got a bit of a boot for a leg too, isn't that right?
He's a good quick kicker, and we pinned a lot of people back inside the 10-yard line this year when we'd line up in a running formation and quick kick.
Right. I understand you got a couple books out, and so tell me about. We've got a couple of books that I saw, and Coaching by the Book, and then Coaching Character. Talk a little bit about those.
Coaching by the Book is called The Purpose and Passion of a High School Coach, and I wrote it right after the 2005 state championship season, and it's really about the life of a coach. It's about why we coach, why, you were talking about the hours that we spend. And, I got into coaching because I was impacted by my high school coach, Merrill Green, and my college coach, Hayden Fry and Jerry Moore. And I wanted to have the same impact on young people they had on me. And one of my coaches in high school was our Fellowship of Christian Athlete huddle leader, and he'd raise money to send us to summer conference. And that's where I heard Tom Landry and Roger Staubach talk about their faith in Christ. And then Coach Green hired me for my first job at Bryan High School. So he got me started in the coaching profession, and then he was my reference to get my first head coaching job. So I talk about how to get a job. I talk about the season we had in 2005. Of course, we had the great player, Matthew Stafford, but we had a great team to go with him.
Right.
And then just talking about why we coach, you got to take, if you take care of the players, they're going to take care of you. And just talking about putting the players first and serving them, and how that will motivate them to give their best effort back as a player.
Absolutely. And it's so tough when you're trying to wrangle, young men. Young men have got a lot of different thoughts running through their heads every single day. You got those hormones and whatnot. And then, of course, nowadays with, with social media, since 05, let's just take since 05 because that was Matt Stafford's year. From then until now, how have things changed, and how have you had to adjust coaching-wise to the players nowadays with what's going on in social media, et cetera?
Well, one of the obvious things is we take up cell phones about 30 minutes before we go out on the field. They like to listen to music in the bus, and they like to listen to it in the dressing room, but we had players who were leaving the dressing room at halftime and answering phone calls and just being a huge distraction in pregame. So we just said, hey, guys, we're taking up cell phones about 30 minutes before pregame, and you're not going to get them back until after the game. So each position coach is responsible for picking up cell phones. The other thing is we have team meetings or we do chants after a game or we're celebrating. I mean, you have to realize that some player is probably going to video it on his phone, and it could appear on social media the next day or that night.
Right.
And so we have a sign up in our meeting room, no cell phones allowed. And I don't keep up with them, their social media accounts, but we just try to talk to them about being intelligent and smart about what you put on the internet. And it's the other thing for the players is there's not a party they can go to where they won't be videoed, so they better do what's right away from the field house because it'll come back. Somebody will put it on the internet and somebody will find out about it.
Exactly. And hopefully young high school players, athletes, they're learning that stuff early. And I think a lot of you football coaches in particular, letting them know that they need to be careful with that stuff, because if they do have plans to move forward, and to college and at the pro level, learn how to handle social media in high school, athletics, and then you'll be good down the line.
Yes, I agree totally. And that's part of our responsibility as coaches is letting them know the consequences of the social media, the bad things that could happen to them as a result of making a poor decision and then having it on social media, and it's on there forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, did you watch the Detroit Lions game last night?
Man, I was so disappointed for Detroit. Matthew, he does it all he can do at his position to win the game, but you got to have a running game. You got to have a defensive secondary, and it looked like the Lions were pretty short in those areas last night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been a big fan of his for a long time, and I've always thought he just didn't get the recognition at Detroit that he should, because but he's always had such a tough. He has never had the supporting cast he really needs to go far, and you're right. He does all that he can. And what frustrates me oftentimes is so many of his receivers, just don't run the routes well and get open, forcing him into situations that aren't great. And then you're right, with not having the necessary running game, it just puts all the pressure on him.
Well, even with all of that, Matthew it was 21-21 at half with the Cowboys 2 weeks ago, and he had executed about as well as you could execute at his position. And, of course, in the second half, the Cowboys got ahead of them, but Matthew set several records. One is I'm not sure, is it 30,000 yards? He's he's the youngest NFL quarterback to reach so many yards in passing, and I think it's 30,000, but I could be wrong. That may be too much. He's also led his team from behind in the fourth quarter 8 times this season, which is an NFL record.
That is, absolutely.
And so even though his team is not advanced past that first round in the playoffs, he is having an excellent year as a quarterback.
Absolutely. And I know that, and off the top of my head, I don't have that other benchmark as well, but I know what you're talking about because he reached it in a shorter time period than other quarterbacks, and that's an NFL record as well. Yeah, and I'm just, like I said, I'm a huge fan of his, the way he plays the ball, and he's a competitor. He's tough. He doesn't let, injuries get in the way. And I, of course, hope he has a better year next year with, a better cast around him. He always has a great year himself, but I just hope he has a great cast next year around him for sure.
Well, I met Coach Caldwell, the head coach of Detroit, and I sure enjoyed him. We were in a WE conference together, and that was put together by Tony Evans, the Urban Alternative, and it was held at AT&T Stadium, and they had some great speakers talking about teaching character to your players and putting your players first. And I really believe in Jim Caldwell, the head coach, and I think he'll finally get it going there at Detroit if they'll just give him some time. Yeah,
I agree. I absolutely agree. And it is so important, I love what you guys do, and I love the head coaches that preach character and, teaching these young men to take care of themselves and, to do things right on the field, do things right off the field. And I just love that. I love that extra discipline that goes with it because so many of these young men need it. And we just really appreciate what you're doing. And by the way, congratulations on an excellent year. Of course, 5A state champion. And by the way, what an amazing career. Over 350 wins, been at it for decades. Folks, you're going to see him on the sidelines in his classic fedora. It's been head coach Randy Allen over at Highland Park. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, it's been an honor. Thank you for calling me.
Hey, appreciate it. And best of luck for a great season next year as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll see you in a few. The Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency in Arlington has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency network. Richard can quote over 20 A-rated companies to find the best fit for you, the best policy at the best price. Call Richard today at 817-286-2002. It's the Richard Tonihka Goosehead Insurance Agency, 817-286-2002.
If you or someone you know is struggling with alcohol or drugs, from drinking every day to taking prescription drugs without a prescription or using cocaine, opiates, or any other hard illegal drug, you need to know you're not alone. There are programs to help get your life back on track, and you don't have to hit rock bottom. Take 5 minutes to talk with someone that cares. Call the Addiction Recovery Hotline today at 1-800-509-9233. That's 1-800-509-9233. When you call, a trained advisor will listen and make recommendations that will be in your best interest. From simple detox programs to 30-day inpatient programs, this is a completely confidential, free service that won't judge. They listen and offer hope and help. The goal is to find the right program or facility that fits your situation, but you have to call. In addition, this hotline offers a better opportunity for success against relapse with their unique program facility matching service. Don't lose your life, career, or loved ones. Know your options. Call the Addiction Recovery Hotline today. 1-800-509-9233. 1-800-509-9233. That's 1-800-509-9233.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. Inside Real Estate, sports, entertainment, politics. Websites InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Time to do some more business talk. We've got some insurance talk to do. We got Richard Tonihka of the Goosehead Insurance Agency. His website, richardtagency.com, richardtagency.com. What's going on, Richard?
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good.
So, do you have any New Year's resolutions that you haven't told anybody about?
Yes, I have some I haven't told myself about. I'm still developing them. They're in development. Not really. You?
I always have them. And they always last till about the beginning of February, maybe March, if they're lucky. And then I don't need this.
Hey, before I forget, by the way, we were just talking a minute ago to head coach Randy Allen, Highland Park. We were talking about that stat, and our production guy just told us about it. Matt Stafford was the first to 30,000 yards. That was the stat we were discussing. Now, sorry.
Oh no, anytime we could talk about Matt Stafford, I mean, it makes my life better.
That's right. No, you want to talk about Romo. You want to talk about the fact that you want Romo to start next week.
Still.
Why? Why would you do that?
I'm a Romo sapien.
Well, I like Romo. He did a great job, but
Oh, he's still gone, but
yeah.
he'll be playing in Denver next year and win the Super Bowl for them again.
I wish that he'd stay with Dallas in some capacity.
Seriously.
I do.
In
I do.
a
I like
in a
Romo.
wheelchair.
Well, yeah, sure. Why not?
On
You
the
can stay on the
sideline.
sideline.
Sorry, Richard.
Oh, no problem. The reason I brought up New Year's resolutions is because one of the New Year's resolutions that I think everyone should have is make sure that you look at your insurance.
Yeah.
When is the last time that you actually looked at your policy? Because life changes, and as life changes, your insurance needs to change also. Well, it doesn't have to change, but depending on, I'm going to go through a list of things that are simple questions that I ask, but it comes down to making sure that I'm offering you the best value that you deserve. And so, depending on how long ago it was written, you may have a policy with a certain company that they no longer offer, just because it was a bad policy or whatever reason that they may, every company ends up changing their policy up slightly.
Yeah.
And over the course of time. And so you may have an outdated policy that doesn't cover you the way you think it should cover you.
Right.
And so, but also coming through here, and when you're looking at your insurance, we're going to make sure that we give you all the discounts that you deserve. And you may not have had those discounts when you originally wrote your policy, because like we said, your life has changed. The things that have gone on, or the things that are in your life now, weren't the same things that were in your life when you originally got the policy. Like my wife, before we got married, she had the same policy for years. She didn't like the premium that she was paying, but she paid it anyway, because that's what you do.
Right.
You have to pay your insurance, and so I don't like this rate, but I'm paying it anyway.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't put in the time to think about, trying to shop around.
Exactly. And there are some people that shop around and still want to pay more. And for those people, I'll charge you more if you want me to. But I'm going to make sure that the value's there, and
right,
and that you're covered the way you think you should be. So, I mean, in the past year, have you changed your job? Every carrier gives you a discount for certain types of jobs. And it's not just your auto insurance, it's also your home insurance. Although everyone kind of concentrates on the autos, but the same underwriters that are giving you the discounts on the homes or on the auto insurance, they're also the same underwriters that are talking about your home insurance. So you're still going to get that same discount. It's just not as publicized. And so has your job changed? Has your education level changed? Did you get your degree? Because you get a bigger discount for the higher education level that you have. Mm-hmm. So have you been working on your master's degree, or have you been going to night school to get your bachelor's degree? All that stuff actually ends up coming in and giving you bigger discounts and saving you money on your insurance. So if these are things that have happened in your life, fantastic. You ought to be rewarded for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had a change in your relationship status? Have you gotten married or engaged? Married people pay a lot less for auto insurance, and they pay less for insurance in general than single people. And so if that's something that's on the horizon, or it's something that's happened within the last year, give me a call, and we'll talk about it and see what we can do. Of course, we're just getting out of the holiday season. Did you get any big presents? Is it something that is higher than what your levels are? Typically for let's say you got a piece of jewelry that's now worth $5,000-$10,000. Your home insurance isn't going to cover that unless it's scheduled.
Right.
So you have to go in and get it scheduled. Get it appraised, get it scheduled, and let's get it. And the benefit of scheduling versus not scheduling, if you have something scheduled, you can come in and let's say it's a ring. Terry, you go to the bathroom, you wash your hands, you took off your rings, and you forgot them there for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You walk out, you come back, and the rings are gone. It's a $10,000 ring, and if you had it scheduled, it's covered.
No matter where you are.
No matter where you are.
Okay.
Right? Now, if it's not scheduled, you're not covered, because it's only the things that are covered under your homeowner's insurance for a non-scheduled. And then you're also only scheduled up to $1,500, $2,500 depending on what policy you're with, but $1,500 to $2,500 is the max for jewelry with just about every carrier. Yeah. And so that $10,000 ring that you just lost, if it's not scheduled, you're not getting a dime of that back if you didn't have it scheduled and put on your home insurance policy.
So how much would something like that run you? I know that's kind of putting you on the spot, but are you talking couple $100
Scheduling
a year?
Is
not much at all?
Not much at all.
Okay.
It's that's very minimal, and the range differs greatly from carrier to carrier.
Okay.
And it's something that we look at. It's just going through, and depending on what your carrier is, then it's quite simple to go into your policy, see what it would cost to schedule it, and spit out the number to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's good information.
Especially important. So if you've just gotten married or you're thinking about getting married, hey, look, oftentimes that wedding ring gets lost at the honeymoon.
Yes.
And hey, as soon as you buy that thing, get it scheduled.
Exactly.
You want to get that taken care of. You don't want to get that lost. Folks, hey, RichardTAgency.com is a website. RichardTAgency.com is a website. You need to catch up with Richard for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, toys, everything.
Yes, because finding out that something's not covered after the fact is the wrong time to find out. Give me a call, and I will take care of you, give you the best value that I can.
Absolutely. Folks, don't forget that the Goosehead model is that Richard can search over 20, 25 different companies behind the scenes, companies you can't even get to figure out the best rates for the best policies for you. By the way, no other company can do this. He can put you with one company with your homeowner's insurance, another company with your auto, and still give you bundled discounts. There's so many things that Richard has access to that you don't with your just standard big box going to Taco Bell, KFC, for your insurance. Richard can take care of it. Look, folks, we work with people that are the best. They excel in what they do. I really like helping people, folks. If you go talk to Richard, he's actually going to help you. He's going to take care of you, and I really want you to do that because I really think everybody should just be helped and taken care of, and you're good at what you do. So, hey, folks, RichardTAgency.com, get with Richard. And we're going to take a short break. See you in a few.
Make your travel dreams come true this Thursday through Sunday at the Tarrant County RV Show at the Fort Worth Convention Center. Over 250,000 square feet of every style RV. Choose from pop-up campers, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and Class A motor coaches. Register to win an Apple iPad mini with Wi-Fi, digital electric smoker, and autographed Dak Prescott jersey. Sunday, free youth Dallas Cowboys knit hats to the first 300 kids with paid admission. The Tarrant County RV Show, Thursday through Sunday. Tickets and discount coupons at FortWorthRVShow.com.
Folks, it's Mike the Realtor here from Inside Real Estate, and if you're not listing your property with me, bottom line is you're leaving money on the table. There are over 15,000 agents here in the DFW area, most of whom are part-time and do a few deals a year. Do you want to trust them to sell your home? I think not. Call Mike the Realtor, the radio realty expert from Inside Real Estate on 570 AM KLIF. Promise you will get to me direct. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Don't sell your home with just anyone. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com and connect with Mike the Realtor. Folks, it's Mike Kruizinga here with Inside Real Estate Sports Entertainment on 570 AM KLIF. Did you know that virtually all of us will experience a fall in the bathtub at some point in our life? Well, statistically, it's true, and as we get older, a fall in the bathtub can spell disaster, as we just can't recover the same as we did in our younger years. Don't let something as silly and preventable as a bathtub fall put an end to all your special plans you have lined up for your golden years. Invest in a Hydrojet walk-in bathtub. Made in the USA and with the lowest step in the industry, Hydrojet walk-in tubs has your best interest at heart. With no commissioned sales staff or huge warehouse overhead, they build and sell direct to you, saving you thousands of dollars over their competitors. Call Randy, my friend and owner of Hydrojet Walk-in Tubs at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com. You'll be able to speak with Randy directly, and make sure to mention you heard about it on the radio. And for you veterans out there, there's a grant available for you to cover the majority of the cost of a walk-in tub, making it darn near free. Call Randy at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com today.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, we are back. And hey, guess what? I got about 2 minutes or so to rapid fire through some headlines because we didn't get to some headlines earlier, so I'm going to rapid fire throw these at you right quick. A lot going on out there, a lot I wanted to hit to, and we always have a huge stack of things to talk about. We don't get through them all, but that's okay. Hey, what else is good? What's going on out there? Hey, Megyn Kelly leaving Fox. Hey, why not turn down $20 million and go to NBC? And the deal points of the NBC deal are not public yet, but NBC did not have anywhere near $20 million to pay her. But a lot of what she said was like, look, I want to go back to daytime TV. She's like, I want to see my kids. She's like, I go to work 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't get to see my husband, get to see my kids. And so she wants to spend more time with them, but she's going to be doing a lot of different duties at NBC, including running some daytime shows, doing special programming and whatnot. Rumored to potentially be doing a daytime show that might go up against the Kelly Ripa show. But, of course, we've heard Kelly Ripa's leaving the show, and I'm not sure who's replacing her yet either. But I don't see Megyn Kelly as that funny, type of of show. Obviously they're going to do her as a serious type of show, but I've always thought she's been great. I really loved her when she was working with what's his name, Bill Hemmer? Is it Bill Hemmer, I think, when they were doing that show together, Fox and Friends, and I always liked her, and then she kind of got more and more serious. I think she was a little bit better kind of in the middle, not so hardcore. She got so hardcore, it was like almost a Nancy Grace show, and Nancy Grace show doesn't appeal to a lot of people.
No.
So, but she had great ratings. Of course, she came in after Bill O'Reilly, who's got the lead ratings. But so that was interesting. Hey, I was talking about ratings. Dallas Cowboys again had the 3 biggest ratings getters for the NFL this year, as they did last year. And ironically, last year they were only 4-12, but they still had the 3 most watched games. And of course, everybody knows that everybody watches the Cowboys. And America's team, everybody loves them. Hey,
although the NFL viewership was down this year.
Exactly. Cowboys, is up, but the overall NFL down, and some dropped ratings for NCAA. I've got another story I don't think we'll get to, but NCAA ratings down overall as well. So something going on with football. So let's see what's going on there. Hey, Macy's is closing 68 stores, and I love the way they word this in their press releases, impacting 10,000 employees. And then later in the story, it says Macy's will eliminate layers of management and work to reduce other non-payroll costs. The company estimates will impact another 6,200 employees. So have to see what's going on there. Are we firing 10,000 employees plus another 6,200? How do you impact an employee? Interesting stuff there. I think they're firing people. Why don't you just come out and say it? A couple of the stores here in Texas, the Collin Creek Mall, as well as the Southwest Center Mall. By the way, both the Collin Creek Mall and Southwest Center Malls, there are plans in the works to do different things with them. In particular, with Southwest Center Mall, there's a $20 million from Dallas going to that project, along with other funds, etc. Meanwhile, they are paying their police department the lowest around, and the Dallas PD has the toughest policing territory to deal with. Meanwhile, their suburban partners, who basically just chill out all day for the most part, don't have the same risks. I shouldn't say chill out, because they have a hard job, but they don't have the same risks as DPD, but they're getting paid way more. So Dallas, still spends money in odd ways, ways.